The promise he made her break so he could keep his own. Meet Clara. She was an open book until she met Dean. A man everyone admired, successful, charming, charismatic, insisted on a profound, almost sacred level of privacy in their relationship. "Our love is special, Clara," he'd whisper, eyes locked on hers. "It's complex. If we tell people about our arguments, they'll judge us. They won't understand how deep our connection is." Clara mistook this control for intimacy. She believed their shared secret burden was a sign of their unique, unbreakable bond. This was the start of the promise: absolute silence. When Dean would rage over minor inconveniences, she'd apologize later for pushing his buttons. When he'd disappear for hours without explanation, she'd invent plausible work scenarios for her friends. Her body language became a shield, her smile a performance. She was the perfect partner in public, the dutiful keeper of his perfect reputation. She carried the weight alone. She cried in the shower where the sound of the water muffled her sobs. She created a private world of pain because he had convinced her that sharing the truth would be an act of betrayal against their love. The promise was toxic, but the realization of the double standard was the poison. One evening, Clara was having coffee with a mutual friend, Sarah. Sarah looked sympathetic, almost pitying. "I'm so sorry about everything you're dealing with, Clara. Dean told us you've been having a tough time with anxiety lately. He's trying so hard to support you through it." The words hit Clara with the force of a physical blow. Dean hadn't just broken the promise of silence. He had rewritten the script. His version, the one circulating among their friends, painted him as the patient, long-suffering partner enduring her unpredictable struggles. He hadn't just spoken. He had created a controlled narrative where she was the problem and he was the martyr. He wasn't protecting the relationship. He was protecting his image, his prestige, the very lies she was silently dying to uphold. And she, the silent loyal one, was paying the price with her credibility and her sanity. The realization was a sharp, clarifying moment. Silence was killing her, while it was saving him. That night, Clara stood in the living room facing Dean. There was no rage in her eyes, only the cool, steady resolve of the newly awakened keeper of the voice. Dean, expecting her usual passive acceptance of his late return, paused. He saw the empty, silent gaze. "What is it, Clara? Are you going to tell me what's wrong?" "You know we can't let outsiders get into this," he said, invoking the old promise. Clara, voice steady, low. "There are no outsiders, Dean. There are only people I shut out to protect your story. And you use that silence to write a new one about me." She finally understood. His request for secrecy was never about protecting them. It was about controlling the narrative so he could continue his behavior without consequence. It was about power. She packed her bags, not in secret, but in plain sight. She wasn't fleeing. She was declaring her independence. As she walked out the door, she sent a text message not to Dean, but to Sarah and 3 other trusted friends. The text was simple. "I am leaving Dean. I need you to know that the version of our story he told you was a lie. I was not the problem. I was the secret. I am breaking the silence now." This was the first act of the keeper of the voice. It wasn't revenge, it was restoration. She was taking back her truth, one word at a time. The heaviest weight is the secret you carry for a deceiver. If you recognize the cost of your silence, it is time to choose yourself. Your voice is not a liability. It is your self-defense. What is the one truth you are ready to speak out loud today to begin your healing? The sovereign self needs the keeper of the voice to be heard. Clara, now the keeper of the voice, entered her new life not as a victim, but as a survivor with a mission for truth. Her single status was not a void, it was a canvas. Her first new conquest was the witnessed experience. She told her story not for gossip, but to validate her own reality. She discovered that by speaking her truth, she didn't lose dignity. She gained resonance. Other women shared their stories of being silenced, creating an immediate, authentic community she never had while with Dean. Conquest of public integrity. She reclaimed her social reputation. The people who mattered, the ones who truly listened to her voice, rejected Dean's false narrative. She conquered the fear of being judged and found acceptance. Conquest of unfiltered joy. The energy she used to spend performing her perfect partner role was now spent on authentic joy. She laughed louder, her eyes were clearer, and her friendships were deeper because they were built on honesty. Conquest of honest partnership. When she dated again, the keeper of the voice had non-negotiable boundaries. Any partner had to be secure enough to talk openly about conflict and accept the wisdom of her support system. The private vow was replaced by transparent partnership. The promise Dean made her break was the promise of her self-identity. By breaking her silence, she not only saved herself but built a path for future conquests defined by clarity, courage, and the unwavering power of her own voice. Her new life as a single woman was not a defeat. It was the resounding victory of honesty. You were never too sensitive, too demanding, or too much. You were simply too honest for a dishonest situation. The keeper of the voice must never be silenced again. Your survival depends on your truth. What is the first step you will take to share your truth and claim your healing space?